Honestly, I don't understand EA. Like, they put out something good and then they say something that is completely the opposite. What am I talking about? Well, before I get into that, let's talk about Battlefield 6 because this is related to that. So, as probably some of you know, or many, the Battlefield 6 beta got released a couple days ago. A lot of people liked it. I enjoyed it for the most part. And just overall, Battlefield 6 is getting really good reception with the fans, etc. And like DICE and a bunch of studios out there under the EA brand is really going all out in this game, and that's a good thing. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. They broke it. They broke the franchise with 2042, and now with this game, they're trying to right the wrongs, I would say. But then EA happened, and they just can't help themselves. I mean, like, I think I think EA is the most total a total whiplash of many things. I mean, they put out some good stuff, but then equally they put out some bad stuff, right? Well, you can say that in a lot of cases, but this is one of them. So what am I talking about? In a article, Andrew Wilson, or one of the higher execs of EA, I'm assuming that it is Andrew Wilson. But they said in a earnings call, or whatever you call it, the whole corporate thing they do, they were discussing about how they're going to support the Battlefield franchise in the long haul. And one thing they discussed is making a Battlefield game every single year. So basically, what they want to do is the exact same thing what the competitors are doing. Call of Duty puts out a video game every single year, and they want to do the exact same thing with Battlefield. Why would they ever do this? Well, obviously because with these corporations and stuff like that, it's all about the money, unfortunately. And yeah, I mean, that seems to be the case. Now, nothing has come to tuition yet, because apparently they want to do something like that in the next 4 years or something like that. So it's a very long way away. So at least we can enjoy Battlefield 6 throughout many years. At least I hope. I've talked about Call of Duty previously in the video Call of Duty is a Cartoon. If you haven't watched that video yet, check it out if you want. But the whole annual thing I discussed also, and I don't really like that practice, because what it does, it diminishes the game that came before. Like new games should have time to what the kids say, time to cook, or whatever. They need to be out there in the wild so that players can enjoy it for what it is. If you're pumping out literally the same game every single year, like I said, it diminishes that previous game. Like Black Ops 6 got released last year, and now we're already getting Black Ops 7. Like, what the fuck is going on? People absolutely hate Black Ops 7, and it ain't even out yet. Like, the whole the likes to dislikes ratio is literally on the side of just utterly hatred. The comment section is abysmal. Like, literally, this was another thing I talked about in the previous video, where a lot of comments were pretty much in support of Battlefield, because Battlefield is what people want. They want that gritty, somewhat realistic war game. They don't want all this Beavis and Butthead cosmetic clusterfuck of a game where it same game, different day, that sort of thing, right? That's what they're doing there at Activision, right? Um, and that sort of thing is probably never going to end unless there's going to be some sort of big event happening, which apparently there is. I mean, like, some sales or player counts or whatever seems to be diminishing with the latest Call of Duty game. Gamers are starting to wake up. They're starting to smell the bullshit, and rightfully so. This is unacceptable. But EA wants to do the exact same thing, and it's going to be the exact same situation with Call of Duty. They're going to pump out a Battlefield game every single year, and that new game is going to diminish the last one, and like, it doesn't give enough time for players to, dive into the mechanics and all that stuff, because they've already moved on to the next game. Here's the thing, right? EA has put out some good stuff, like, for example, Battlefield 1. It's probably the best Battlefield game I've ever played, in my opinion. Like, I put so many hours into that game. It's holy fuck, it's such a good game. And like, fast forward, I mean, skipping the Battlefront 2 fiasco for a moment, we had the Jedi games, Jedi Fallen Order, Jedi Survivor. Those two games I really, really like. And then with the Dead Space remake, like, one of EA's best series they've done under the banner. That remake is really, really good. It's not as top tier as the original, but there's so much good stuff in it. And yeah, it's kind of unfortunate that they shelved that franchise yet again. But other than that, there is a lot of bad stuff. I mean, I'm not really in the same field. Like, with the Madden and the FIFA games, those are annually, like, every one game every single year. I hear nothing, like, which is bad stuff, right? And then, like, we have Battlefield 2042. It was an utter glitchy mess. People had flashbacks with Battlefield 4. I heard that was a total glitchy mess when it first launched. And let's not forget Battlefront 2, and which that game put EA on the map as to be the worst game company ever. Now, in my opinion, I don't think they are the worst. They are one of the worst, but they're not the worst. I still think that Activision is the worst, because most of the time I hear nothing but bad news. But with EA, like, they do pump out some good stuff. Like, the whole EA original stuff. People really like the what's it called? It Takes Two, or the recent one, Split Fiction. Those games are really high regard, right? And they're just like, EA gives them the funds and they can make whatever they want. So they're not oblivious to not allowing people to make good games. They just make really bad decisions what they think that will make more money, but in hindsight it just fucks every player over. And this whole thing of Battlefield being annually, only time can tell, to be honest. If they do go for it, players are not going to enjoy it. I'm certainly not going to enjoy it, because I don't like the annual stuff. It really, really sucks. Like, I just kind of like realized, like, Activision was, at a time, they were saying, but like, oh, we're not going to do the annual stuff anymore. We're going to take the time, like 2 years of this new game being out there, which is the bare minimum of what I think a game, or like a live service game should be, in terms of Call of Duty's and Battlefield's case, right? That sort of live service game, right? But then they went back to the annual stuff, and it's just been a complete shit show. And the funny thing is, Battlefield 6 ain't even out yet. Just let the game be out in the wild, see what people think, and if it's successful, which I'm assuming that it's going to be with the amount of people who've played the beta and all that, and the reception of the marketing and this and that. You don't need to think about what stupid shit we're going to be putting in this game to make people want to buy this, like some sort of cosmetic skins or some shit like that. You know what Activision's doing. Just let it be out there. So EA, just don't ruin it.